Alright guys, so we will discuss the last module na meron tayo ngayong first sem finals. So for the sixth module, we will talk about eating habits, sleep, and stress management. Dito sa module na to malalaman natin what causes us stress, bakit hindi tayo nakakakain sa tamang oras, at bakit hindi rin tayo nakakatulog sa tamang oras. So for the first part guys, I'm gonna ask you a question muna, no? And I'm hoping you can answer it kung nasan man kayo ngayon. So sa point of view ng isang student guys, how do you manage stress? Okay, so now nalaman na natin kung paano nyo na-manage yung stress ninyo. Ngayon naman, papanoorin natin yung video na ito. Yung video na ipapanood ko sa inyo, it's all about stress. Anong mangyayari sa katawan natin kapag hindi natin na-handle yung stresses na yun nga na nasa paligid natin. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
Cramming for a test? Trying to get more done than you have time to do? Stress is a feeling we all experience when we are challenged or overwhelmed. But more than just an emotion, stress is a hardwired physical response that travels throughout your entire body. In the short term, stress can be advantageous, but when activated too often or too long, your primitive fight or flight stress response not only changes your brain, but also damages many of the other organs and cells throughout your body. Your adrenal gland releases the stress hormones cortisol, epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and norepinephrine. As these hormones travel through your bloodstream, they easily reach your blood vessels and heart. Adrenaline causes your heart to beat faster and raises your blood pressure, over time causing hypertension. Cortisol can also cause the endothelium, or inner lining of blood vessels, to not function normally. Scientists now know that this is an early step in triggering the process of atherosclerosis, or cholesterol plaque buildup in your arteries. Together, these changes increase your chances of a heart attack or stroke. When your brain senses stress, it activates your autonomic nervous system. Through this network of nerve connections, your big brain communicates stress to your enteric or intestinal nervous system. Besides causing butterflies in your stomach, this brain-gut connection can disturb the natural rhythmic contractions that move food through your gut, leading to irritable bowel syndrome, and can increase your gut's sensitivity to acid, making you more likely to feel heartburn. Via the gut's nervous system, stress can also change the composition and function of your gut bacteria, which may affect your digestive and overall health. Speaking of digestion, does chronic stress affect your waistline? Well, yes. Cortisol can increase your appetite. It tells your body to replenish your energy stores with energy-dense foods and carbs, causing you to crave comfort foods. High levels of cortisol can also cause you to put on those extra calories as visceral or deep belly fat. This type of fat doesn't just make it harder to button your pants. It is an organ that actively releases hormones and immune system chemicals called cytokines that can increase your risk of developing chronic diseases, such as heart disease and insulin resistance. Meanwhile, stress hormones affect immune cells in a variety of ways. Initially, they help prepare to fight invaders and heal after injury, but chronic stress can dampen the function of some immune cells, make you more susceptible to infections, and slow the rate you heal. Want to live a long life? You may have to curb your chronic stress. That's because it has even been associated with shortened telomeres, the shoelace tip ends of chromosomes that measure a cell's age. Telomeres cap chromosomes to allow DNA to get copied every time a cell divides without damaging the cell's genetic code. And they shorten with each cell division. When telomeres become too short, a cell can no longer divide, and it dies. As if all that weren't enough, Chronic stress has even more ways it can sabotage your health, including acne, hair loss, sexual dysfunction, headaches, muscle tension, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, and irritability. So, what does all this mean for you? Your life will always be filled with stressful situations, but what matters to your brain and entire body is how you respond to that stress. If you can view those situations as challenges you can control and master, rather than as threats that are insurmountable, you will perform better in the short run and stay healthy in the long run.
So follow Wing video na papanoorin naman natin yan. It's all about eating, out of eating habits. So I know for sure marami sa inyo yung naka-experience na ng gutom itself. Like for example, nalipasan tayo. It's because we are so busy sa mga activities natin sa school. As a part of teacher din, ganun din. Meron akong mga scenarios na experience na kung saan mas inuuna ko pang yun nga mag-check ng mga performance task instead of eating. Meron namang mga students na kung saan sinasadya nilang hindi kumain because it's part of their diet o kaya nasa fasting sila. So right now, we will watch a video, and in this video it will talk about what will happen in our body if we will not eat for a very long period of time.
This video is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Use the link in the description for a special $5 starter set. We all understand that our car needs fuel to keep it running. In the same way, our body also needs fuel in the form of food to power our continued existence. The food we consume provides us with a range of different nutrients, such as vitamins, minerals, water, carbohydrates, fiber, fat, and protein. These nutrients have varying uses, like keeping the organs healthy and operational, the brain in working order, and also ensuring our cells continue to regenerate. When a car runs out of gas, it stops running. What if the body runs out of gas? What happens? That's what we'll be looking at today. In this episode of the Infographic Show, what would happen if you didn't eat for a week? Before we answer this question, let's first look at the recommended amount of food you should be eating in a normal day. Calories are used to measure the energy content of foods and beverages, and according to online health information website Healthline, the average woman needs to consume roughly 2,000 calories per day to maintain her weight and 1,500 calories per day to lose 1 pound of weight per week. The average man needs to consume around 2,500 calories per day to maintain his weight and 2,000 calories per day to lose 1 pound of weight per week. This is just a guide, and the actual amount depends on numerous factors like age, height, weight, and activity levels. So what does 2,000 or 2,500 calories look like in portions of food? Here are a few examples. A roasted chicken is 475 calories per leg. A 6-ounce salmon fillet is 350 calories. There are 489 calories per 100 grams of homemade granola, and a Starbucks double chocolatey chip frappuccino blended cream with whipped cream has a whopping 510 calories, so 4 of those a day and you'd be maxed out. Now that we have an idea of how much food we need and the calorie levels of some of the things we eat, let's see what happens if we cut out all these yummy delights and starve the body of fuel. For the first 6 hours with no food, everything is perfectly normal. Many people have gaps between meals of up to 6 hours on a typical day. The glycogen in your body, which is responsible for storing energy, is broken down through your metabolism to form glucose, the thing your body uses as fuel. Your brain uses 25% of this energy, with the rest being absorbed by your muscle tissues and red blood cells. But as soon as you get beyond 6 hours, the glycogen stores will be exhausted and hunger pains will kick in. As the brain runs out of energy, it can lead to some people getting moody and irrational unless they find their favorite snack fast. These feelings do not last long though, and your body adjusts and enters what is known as ketosis, a state at which the body starts breaking down your excess fat and converting it to energy. Ketosis is a state that a lot of athletes, such as marathon runners, enter when they run out of glycogen supplies. And there are also many popular low-carb diets that use ketosis to assist with weight loss. After 72 hours, things start to get very tricky when your brain decides it needs more than just ketones to survive. At this stage, your body starts to break down its own proteins to form glucose. So your body is effectively eating its own muscle tissue to survive. And we're only 3 days in. Beyond this point, the immune system will start to struggle in the absence of important vitamins and minerals. This will make you more susceptible to illnesses and eventually death. As the body continues to eat itself until there is no fat, muscle, or glucose reserves left, the chances of heart attack due to severe heart tissue damage is heightened. This sounds pretty harsh and not advisable, but trying to predict how long these results will affect a person can vary depending on different factors. Someone with greater fat reserves will have a longer survival time, and most importantly, it matters how much water the body receives. Without fluids, most people will die within 10 days, but if fluids are kept in the diet, then a person can last from 20 to as long as 60 days without eating anything, though most human bodies will give up within 40 days. So what are some of the longest periods people have gone without food? We found the story of Rita Creighton, who was in her mid-50s when she and her husband got lost in the Nevada wilderness in the winter of 2011. Rita survived 49 days of starvation using melted snow to get liquid. She was fortunate to be discovered by some hunters who were taking advantage of the good weather after the winter. By the time she was found, she had lost nearly 30 pounds, and as she had not eaten for so long, she was unable to take food immediately. Her husband disappeared when he went off to try and find food and help. His body was discovered in 2012. Clearly, if you're planning any adventure trips, it's best to be properly prepared. British newspaper The Guardian quoted the couple's son Raymond as saying, "I don't believe they were prepared for winter weather, they don't go camping." Some of the longest periods that people go without food are hunger strikes, and none were longer than the case of an Indian national born in 1931, Bhagat Singh. At the time, the British ruled India, and Singh was part of the Indian independence movement, which saw him locked up in prison for allegedly murdering 2 people. When in prison, Singh undertook a hunger strike as a way to demand better clothing and hygiene standards and an ending of the manual labor duties at the prison. The British government tried to break the fast by placing bowls of food in his cell, but Singh was very determined and never touched any of it. Incredibly, he lasted 63 days, by which point he weighed only 119 pounds. Okay, so it seems that if the conditions are right, and if you have enough water, you can go without food for long periods of time. But is it ever healthy, or is it just downright dangerous? As it happens, fasting has become increasingly popular as a health routine in recent years. It's widely understood within the health community that there are many benefits to cutting out food for short periods of time, such as a few days. The obvious benefit is that it can support weight loss, if that's something your body requires. But other health benefits are said to include boosting your metabolism, lowering blood pressure, protecting your brain, and maybe even slowing the aging process.
Ayun, so napanood natin dun sa video na yon what are the consequences if we will not eat for a very long period of time. Okay, so guys, let's go ahead and watch the last video. The last video is all about sleeping naman. What will happen if we always lack some sleep? So panoorin natin siya.
In 1965, 17-year-old high school student Randy Garner stayed awake for 264 hours. That's 11 days to see how he'd cope without sleep. On the second day, his eyes stopped focusing. Next, he lost the ability to identify objects by touch. By day 3, Garner was moody and uncoordinated. At the end of the experiment, he was struggling to concentrate, had trouble with short-term memory, became paranoid, and started hallucinating. Although Garner recovered without long-term psychological or physical damage, for others, losing shut-eye can result in hormonal imbalance, illness, and in extreme cases, death. We're only beginning to understand why we sleep to begin with, but we do know it's essential. Adults need 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, and adolescents need about 10. We grow sleepy due to signals from our body telling our brain we are tired, and signals from the environment telling us it's dark outside. The rise in sleep-inducing chemicals like adenosine and melatonin send us into a light doze that grows deeper, making our breathing and heart rate slow down and our muscles relax. This non-REM sleep is when DNA is repaired and our bodies replenish themselves for the day ahead. In the United States, it's estimated that 30% of adults and 66% of adolescents are regularly sleep-deprived. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. Staying awake can cause serious bodily harm. When we lose sleep, learning, memory, mood, and reaction time are affected. Sleeplessness may also cause inflammation, hallucinations, high blood pressure, and it's even been linked to diabetes and obesity. In 2014, a devoted soccer fan died after staying awake for 48 hours to watch the World Cup. While his untimely death was due to a stroke, studies show that chronically sleeping fewer than 6 hours a night increases stroke risk by 4.5 times compared to those getting a consistent 7 to 8 hours of shut-eye. For a handful of people on the planet who carry a rare inherited genetic mutation, sleeplessness is a daily reality. This condition, known as fatal familial insomnia, places the body in a nightmarish state of wakefulness, forbidding it from entering the sanctuary of sleep. Within months or years, this progressively worsening condition leads to dementia and death. How can sleep deprivation cause such immense suffering? Scientists think the answer lies with the accumulation of waste products in the brain. During our waking hours, our cells are busy using up our day's energy sources, which get broken down into various byproducts, including adenosine. As adenosine builds up, it increases the urge to sleep, also known as sleep pressure. In fact, caffeine works by blocking adenosine's receptor pathways. Other waste products also build up in the brain, and if they're not cleared away, they collectively overload the brain and are thought to lead to the many negative symptoms of sleep deprivation. So, what's happening in our brain when we sleep to prevent this? Scientists found something called the glymphatic system, a cleanup mechanism that removes this buildup and is much more active when we're asleep. It works by using cerebrospinal fluid to flush away toxic byproducts that accumulate between cells. Lymphatic vessels, which serve as pathways for immune cells, have recently been discovered in the brain, and they may also play a role in clearing out the brain's daily waste products. While scientists continue exploring the restorative mechanisms behind sleep, we can be sure that slipping into slumber is a necessity if we want to maintain our health and our sanity.
Okay, so ayan. Tapos na tayong panoorin yung tatlong video. Yung tatlong video na yon is again related sa ating topic, eating habits, sleep, and stress management. So, let's proceed in our PowerPoint presentation. First of all guys, what is eating habits? So, eating habits, the term eating habits or food habit refers to why and how people eat, which food they eat, and with whom they eat, as well as the ways people obtain, store, use, and discard food. Eating habit is one of the great influence to improve our health. So alam naman natin yan, no? We are what we eat, sabi nga doon sa quotation na yon. So eating habit, it's all about paano tayo kumain. Like twice a day ba? 3 times a day? Sometimes mas madami pa doon, no? Nasa atin na yan, kanya-kanyang personality, kumbaga. So let's proceed. Meron tayong 4 types of eating. The first one is FFP or fueling for performance, followed by emotional eating, kasama na dito yung stress eating, social eating, and also eating out of habits or for recreation, or what we call habitual eating. If I'm not mistaken, this topic is already like discussed way back nung nasa grade 10 or grade 9 kayo, pero yun nga, we will still tackle them, kasama pa rin ito sa curriculum nyo. So let's discuss the first one. Kapag sinabi natin, ayan, fueling for performance, sabi dyan, fueling for performance is the act of eating specific food or supplements during specific time window to help maximize performance and support recovery in a certain activity. So, keep in mind guys na yung regular eating na ginagawa natin every breakfast, lunch, at saka dinner ay magkaiba dito sa fueling for performance. Nasa pangalan na niya nga itself. So, kailangan natin dito mag-intake ng mga supplements enable for us na magkaroon ng healthy body, especially if we are an athlete. Ayan, kailangan talaga yung mga yan. And also, aside sa water na tinitake natin, yung mga athletes kadalasan umiinom yan ng mga drinks na puno ng electrolytes or yung mga tinatawag nating sports drink. So, yan ang fueling for performance. Okay? Next tayo. Emotional eating naman. Sabi dito, emotional eating is the tendency or its sufferers to respond to stressful, difficult feeling by eating. Even when not experienced physically hunger, emotional eating or emotional hunger is often a craving for high calories or high carbohydrate food that have minimal nutritional value. Siguro lahat naman kayo na experience na yan, di ba? Yung because of emotion, nakakalimutan na natin kumain or sinasadya nating hindi kumain, like gugutumin natin yung sarili natin. Aside doon sa mga sad moments, meron din naman yung sobrang saya natin, at sa sobrang saya natin talagang hindi natin mapigilang kumain. And keep in mind, pag sinabi nating emotional eating, medyo nagki-crave tayo dito sa mga, yun nga, sabi nga sa slide, mga high carbohydrate foods o yung mga pagkain na nakakataba sa atin. Kaya mapansin nyo guys, yung mga taong galing sa breakup, after like few months, sobrang tataba nila. It's because of that. It's because of this, rather, emotional eating. Ayan. So next tayo is social eating naman. So kapag sinabi natin social eating can be healthy and enjoyable. Healthy eating can be challenging around certain people or in certain social situation. These strategies can help us keep in the right mindset at your next social gathering. Think about the last time you went out with your friends. Again, social eating, nasa pangalan niya na itself. We are eating around with our friends or surrounded by our friends, by our families, maybe our loved ones, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, something like that. Basta pag sa social eating, lagi tayong magkasama dyan. May kasama dyan, rather. So next, sa susunod naman, yung recreational eating ay magkaiba ito sa social eating doon sa naunang slide. Pag sinabi natin recreational eating is eating because you are in social settings or simply because there is a food around you. Recreational eating can still occur without satisfying toxic hunger or true hunger. So, most of us guys visited sa mga festivals, like mga fiesta sa barrio, ganyan. At alam naman natin na yung mga relatives natin sa mga barrio ay maghahanda talaga yan. They will prepare a lot of food. So, hindi lang naman isang bahay yung pupuntahan nyo doon, kundi madami, di ba? Sabi nga dito sa slide, you are eating, pero hindi mo naman sinasatisfy yung pinaka-hunger mo itself. Like, busog ka pero kakain ka pa rin siguro out of, like, nahihiya ka, natumanggi sa mga relatives mo, something like that. At tandaan natin na yung recreational eating ay nangyayari lang yan every meron tayong festival, birthdays, wedding, etc. So, clear tayo sa 4 types of eating. Okay, so next tayo, it's all about sleeping management naman. So, according to the energy conservation theory, we need to sleep to conserve energy. Sleeping allows us to reduce our caloric need by spending part of our time functioning at a lower metabolism. Sleep plays a major role in ensuring the good health and well-being of an individual. It recharges a person's brain, help repair cells, and help body release important hormones. So, alright, so sa slide na to, pinapakita gaano ka-importante ang pagtulog sa tamang oras. So, napakadaming mga benefits niyan. At pansin nyo naman, di ba, sa mga laging kumpleto yung tulog, lagi silang blooming, like lagi silang may beauty rest. At doon naman sa mga laging puyat, like nasa 18 or 17 years old lang sila pero mukha na silang nasa 30. Anyways guys, let's go ahead and proceed. Benefits of sleeping. Ayan, napaka-basic lang naman nito, no? So, sleep can boost your immune system. Gaining sleep can help prevent weight gain. Sleep can strengthen your heart. Better sleep equals better mood, like what I mentioned. Sleeping can increase productivity. Lack of sleep can be dangerous, literally. Ayun nga, tulad dun sa video na napanood nyo, it can lead into death, no, kapag napabayaan. Sleep can increase exercise performance. Sleep improves memory. Okay, so top 8 pa lang naman yan at alam ko, marami pa kayong pwedeng maisip na benefits ng pagtulog. So anyways, proceed tayo sa next slide. So, how much sleep do you really need? Gaano ba kadaming tulog ang kailangan natin? So, ito yung chart. So, pinapakita dito sa newborn hanggang sa adults, no? So, newborn, required silang matulog ng 14 to 17 hours. Parang mga pusa lang din pala yung mga to. Followed by infant, 12 to 15 hours. Toddlers, hanggang mapunta tayo sa kayo, mga teens, 8 to 10 hours daw yung kailangan. Sa mga adults naman, 7 to 8 hours. Bakit kaya hindi pwedeng pantay-pantay, no? Yung parang kahit nasa 10 to 13 hours lang para mga preschooler. Anyway, kidding aside. So, ayan yung kailangan daw nating sundan, no? So, next tayo. So, dito sa slide na to, ipapakita kung ano ba yung mga reasons kung bakit hindi tayo nakakatulog sa tamang oras. May kanya-kanya naman tayong mga reason dyan pero isa-isahin natin sila. Yan. Bad sleeping habits. Poor sleep habit like having an irregular sleep schedule or consuming too much caffeine or alcohol can interfere with your sleep quality. In a study of nursing students, smoking and daily coffee consumption were two of the largest factors associated with poor sleep quality. So, that's actually true, no? Before, okay guys, I'm not gonna hide this anymore. I'm a heavy smoker before, and reason lang naman yun is it's because nasa BPO industry ako that time, and ayun nga, yun din yung parang reason kung bakit hindi ako nakakatulog na maayos kahit na sabihin na nating 10 hours lang yung duty ko that time. So I still have a lot of hours to sleep, no? Pero yun nga, lagi na lang nasa 4 hours na lang yung tulog ko. It's because I drink too much coffee and yun nga, smokes a lot. But right now, actually improving, and yun nga, na-remove ko na yung mga ganong vices, no? Actually, phone in bed. Ayan nga, hindi natin maiiwasan yan sa generation today. Late night snacking, tulog ka na lang, kakain ka ba? Falling asleep, watching movies, maybe some marathons, animes, parang ganito, ganyan, no? At yung top 4 natin, yung going to bed without unwinding. So, you experience a lot of problem during that day. Hindi ka muna nag-unwind, and therefore, talagang hindi ka makakatulog sa araw na yon. Next na tayo. So, meron tayong mga practical ways to establish better sleeping. Ito yung mga kadalasang nakakatulong sa atin, no? Para makatulog ng tama. So, establish a routine for sleeping and waking times, including weekends, and then stick to it. Ensure that your sleeping area is conducive for sleeping. Get regular exercise, but make sure your exercise session are not close to your sleeping time. Followed by, avoid caffeinated drinks and sweet food in the evening. Turn off or put into silent mode your electronic devices before you sleep. So, ayun lang ang mga examples na meron tayo. At kung meron pa kayong mga different routines na sinusundan bago matulog na effective sa inyo, pwede nyo naman siyang i-share sa mga classmates nyo if you wanted to. Now, stress management. Sabi dito, stress, mental or emotional tension or strain resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Meron tayong 10 emergency stress stoppers na pwedeng sundan, no? Ito yung first 3. Take a few deep breaths until you feel your body is more relaxed. Count to 10 before you speak or react. Go for a walk, even if it's just across the room or to the restroom and back. It can help break the tension and give you a chance to think things through. Try a quick meditation, even if it's only 5 minutes long. That is okay. Just stay calm and relax. You do not need to respond straight away. If it's not urgent, respond tomorrow. This works especially well for stressful emails or when we are simply overloaded with those emails. Or yung mga homeworks natin, no? Kung pwede naman natin silang ipagpabukas, if hindi naman deadline bukas, so just relax, chill lang kayo. Number 6, if you can walk away from the situation for sometimes and handle it later once things have come down, is break down big problems into smaller parts. Take step by step instead of trying to fix everything at once. Ayun, play some chill music or an inspirational podcast to help you deal with busy stress day. Of course, hug a loved ones or do something to help someone else. Work out or do something active. Exercise helps a lot to release the stress in the whole body itself. Or play your favorite sports. Mag-jogging ka, or you ride your bicycle, something like that. And that's the end of our discussion. If you have some question or clarification, just ask me sa GC natin. I'm more than happy to answer them. So for now, thank you for listening guys, and have a great day. Bye guys.